It made me think of some of Justin Whitmore Early's books.
Yes.
We love him.
I just finished two of his books just recently.
The Common Rule and Habits of the Household are kind of the ones that deal with habits. And he has a beautiful way of framing that moment that you're talking about when we first wake up in the morning, and how kind of our daily practices, we can understand them as habits, but they really are liturgies, right? And that they're kind of speaking to us, speaking meaning into our lives. And so if the first thing we do, sometimes even before we open our eyes, is reach for our phone, that is saying something about us and what we value. And it's not meant to be like a shame thing, right?
Maybe a little. No, just kidding.
Well, I mean, I am of the opinion that shame can speak to us, right? And we don't want to like sit in it forever, but like it's telling us something, and we can use it as fuel to change, which can be a great thing. But he talks about how instead of kind of looking to your phone for understanding who you are in the morning, is that we can look to Christ. And he's, I think one of his rules is like no phone before scripture, something like that. And so he is advocating for the idea of reminding ourselves of our status as beloved children of God, image bearers, before we let the world tell us who we are, because it certainly will. And he also, one of the things he talks about is kneeling prayer in the morning, just super simple.
I remember reading that and I was like, I wish I could say I've implemented it. I have not, but I was really, you have?
Yes.
Okay. Cause I remember feeling really convicted. I actually was doing audiobook on one of my morning runs and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so right. I was like, Lord, forgive me. Like it's all throughout scripture. We see kneeling in prayer.
He does.
Why have I not done this?
He advocates for it at morning, at noon, and at night. And so when I was reading the book, I was doing all three. I read the book a few years ago, and the one that has stuck most consistently is the morning. Just because there's like fewer excuses, you know? So I literally like roll out of bed, like do a barrel roll onto the floor.
Because at our age, we're not hopping.
Land on my knees. And it's super brief. It's not like a, lengthy or elaborate prayer, but I just say, Lord, like this is your day. Like help me to glorify you in it. And, whatever specific thing I want to pray over the day. Probably 30 seconds. But even starting the day, and we're talking about analog practices and embodied practices, and Christianity is just full of them, and kneeling in prayer is one of them. And so
how has that like transformed your days as you look, because how long have you been practicing that?
Probably 3 years now.
Okay. Yeah. You look back 5 years ago when you weren't practicing that, and now you are, like, as someone who's listening, myself included, someone who's not practicing that, like, how would you say, like, this has really transformed my mornings this way?
I mean, it's hard to, I'm a goal person, so I'm always tinkering with things. So it's hard to isolate effects. But I can say every morning, I am so grateful I did it. And it is, just like we said, it's a reminder of who I am and who I have access to.
That's right.
First thing in the morning, before I go into kids that are yelling at each other, or I'm late for, drop off or whatever it is. That is how I start the day. And that is the intention I'm putting into every day. And paired with leaving the phone till later, those two things together have totally changed my day. And also the way I interact with my husband and my kids in the morning. My kids go off to school during the day. Husband goes to work. We're going our separate ways. But having that connection of looking each other in the eye and not being distracted by the phone.
I'm going to commit a really big faux pas, and I'm going to announce it on national radio right now. My phone is my alarm clock.
Yeah, you're not alone.
I know.
Yeah.
What should I do about that?
Okay, so I have an Apple Watch that I do wear overnight. This might not work for you because you maybe don't want to do that, but my watch is my alarm. So that's like...
I did do that with Garmin for a while, and now I'm back to my phone, which is probably way worse.
Sure. So that's what I use. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to like, be tooling around on my watch in the morning. So that works for me. But for most people, getting just like a super basic alarm clock, like
I know, it feels
$9.
so old school, right?
There's cool ones now, you could even get one of the sunrise ones if you want to be fancy.
Kristen just got a sunrise one for herself. And if you've never seen these before, go look them up on the internet. But it's just a light that turns on.
Yes,
but
gradually.
It is... Yeah, but the kelvins of it does emulate like a warm morning sunrise. Yeah. And sometimes she wakes up before me and I will see that light and I'm like, I'm not ready.
Not time yet.
It's not time yet.
Well, and if we're talking about, practices that help you avoid distraction.
Yeah.
And this, I actually keep my phone in the bedroom, but it charges on my husband's side of the bed. So it is out of my arm's reach. So I plug it in when I, come upstairs to go to get ready for bed. And so I'm not scrolling at night, which I know is a challenge for a lot of people. And I'm no better than anyone else, but literally just putting it over there out of arm's reach is all that it takes to not do that. Because otherwise I would.
Yeah.